Oh, yeah. And now, from North Platte High School Studio B, welcome to Bulldog Banter, where students, stakeholders, and alumni come together to traverse the transformative power of education. This week's episode sponsored by the North Platte Public Schools Foundation and the Flower Market.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bulldog Banter. I'm Maddie Hildebrand.
I'm Reagan Lampy.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things North Platte.
And do fun stuff.
Today, our guest is Trainin.
Hello.
Thank you.
He's Mr. Willie's advisor and
For Mr. Willie's PhD.
Yeah, and now we're on a podcast, so.
Yeah, he came to observe Willie, and now we're here. Like 5 minutes short notice, so thank you for that, Willie. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You want to start off by telling us what you do?
So I'm a professor at UNL. I teach undergraduate pre-service teachers, so people who are going to be teachers, especially in the elementary education programs. So I teach about literacy, I teach about technology, and then I teach graduate classes around innovative learning technologies, which is where we met, among other things. And I have a variety of grants that circle the area of emerging media arts, arts integration into schools, media, like we're doing right now, and then other technology, especially AI.
Yep. We know you love AI.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I love AI, but I'm about 80% AI in my daily life right now.
So, how did you get into all this stuff and start all of it?
Wow, that's a really good question, and I haven't thought about that. So I've actually done work on arts integration very early in my career, and many times in my career, I don't know, you're thinking about careers and you're doing media and all of that, but many times what happens in my decision-making is I meet interesting people that have fantastic ideas, and I kind of say, that sounds great. Let's do more of this. And so that happens in my life. But about 15 years ago or so, I was doing my work. I was teaching teachers how to teach reading and writing and those things. And I started realizing that schools were actually having better technology than the university. That is not a good thing because we're preparing the teachers for the future, and they were not having access to the same technology. So I started working on technology, and this is what got me more and more interested in different things and how can we as a university be a little bit ahead of schools, or at least with schools. So the teachers we train, whether they're pre-service teachers, so they're just getting ready to teach, or in the case of graduate students, they're already teaching, but we want to give them what's coming next. And that's where my love of AI, or at least my fascination with AI, comes in, and other things. So, yeah.
Well, Willie definitely loves to use AI and likes to talk about how amazing you are with AI.
Yeah.
So.
Anytime, Dr. Trainin, he does this and this and that. Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Now you've met the Dr. Trainin
Yes.
that we talk about.
And we met you that one time.
Yeah, last time you were here, we were trying to figure out the ChatGPT picture thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked rather well. And it's
Until
getting
it gave
better
me a
every
limit.
time.
Said you can't type anymore.
Yeah.
So it's going too slow.
I used to know nothing about AI, and then Reagan kind of got me started on AI, and I kind of like it. It's kind of
so helpful.
It is helpful.
It is helpful. And that's the thing about AI that, a lot of people are either, I love AI and everything it does and it's perfect. It's not perfect.
No. Yeah.
And I hate AI and I never want to touch it. And I'm in the middle, more in the I love AI camp, let's be honest. But AI is around us. It's being used everywhere. If you know how to use it, you're going to have a leg up in anything you do right now, because all the old folks like me, but maybe not exactly me, but all the older people are trying to figure out how to use it. So if you do know how to use it, it's going to be easier to get a job. It's going to be easier to do the job. And in some places, it'll be expected that you know how to do it. Otherwise, you will not get the job. Because, for example, right now, most coders that get a job coding for a software firm, if you don't know how to use AI in many places, you will not get a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to Kearney to go to the NIDA conference and do a social media contest. And we were looking like at all like the speaker topics, and like 70% of them are about AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what's in the air, it's what's in the water, and the technology conference is the place where the people who are really interested in what's coming up are always. So a few years ago, it was Canva everywhere. Now we're all kind of good on Canva, right? We're all using it, we all love it, and we're all like, but there's not enough to talk about.
Yeah.
So AI comes around and you do that. Computer science, they're kind of waves of that.
I know. It's crazy. It got so big this year.
Yeah, it did.
Like, it just blew
Yes.
up.
Because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now we're getting a ban on everything.
Yeah, we're getting a cell phone ban.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Okay. I
Don't
have
get me started.
I have, both views. I
Yeah.
see where it can be beneficial because, I'm honest. There's so many times where I could be doing my work, but I'm sitting on my phone instead. Or, there's people in class cheating on their phones. Like, obviously, teachers aren't stupid. The state isn't stupid. We all know that not having phones is going to be beneficial. But I was, talking to my mom about it, and she's like, what if I need to get a hold of you? And, obviously, not way back, but back when they didn't have phones.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Yes.
They just had to call the office if they wanted to be called out. And so it's not like this is a crazy thing that's never been done before. It's just it feels like we're kind of going backwards with phones just because we're taking them out of schools. But I think it's going to be beneficial. Obviously, being a student, it sucks for me, and especially it being my senior year. Having your phone is something all students want, but I do think it's going to benefit school greatly.
And you did do a great job with your film about trying this out and all of that. Yes, I did see that. So if you haven't seen that, where's my camera?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, go watch it.
Effects of social media.
Yes.
I don't
It's
know.
a must.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's my thought on it, okay? When we plan our shots for high videos and stuff, the first thing we do is we go on TikTok and we look up videos because we can't find the stuff that we find on TikTok on YouTube. It's just not the same.
It's not the same medium.
Yeah.
I agree.
TikTok is updated constantly. It's a lot easier to find stuff like that than I would say on YouTube, because YouTube, I feel like everything's older on there. And I don't know. I just I literally use my phone for so much in English class. If I'm doing player profiles, I'll pull up the roster on my phone, and then it just is.
So now the old person in the room who loves his phone. So
Yeah.
don't get me. I'm not gonna lie. I love my phone. I do a lot on my phone. I do my email on my phone. People contact me. I fill out forms. I mean, this all sounds super interesting to you. I know, but I can get a lot of work done, and so I understand the attraction. But I also know what else happens, and that is, I can play on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's it's sitting here, and I'm bored for 5 seconds. Has it happened to you? You're bored for 5 seconds, and maybe I'll just try this. And here's the thing that happens at that moment is now I'm in my phone. And the phone has been built especially to keep us interested in the phone, not anything else that's happening, the phone. So we tell ourselves, it's going to be just a second. And then 20 minutes later and 17 TikToks or maybe more, we're like, something happened? Wait a minute, there's nobody here. Why? Because it's built to build our attention. I walk into classrooms because I walk into a lot of classrooms. I just walked into yours. And I see some kids are watching a show while there's class going on.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, is this a really good use of educational time? Right, I think about silly things like educational time, but you're obviously not learning right now. I was in a class yesterday, I will not say where, but not here. And there was a student watching a video about how to draw at the same time as she was watching some show. And I know we are all used to doing that. That's how we do homework, right? That's how we do other things. But the truth is that split attention, when you're learning to draw and you're watching somebody doing contours, you cannot watch a show at the same time. And you can not hear the directions because we can really filter in only one source of information. That's why we love the zoning out on the videos, right?
Yeah.
On TikTok or wherever you're watching, but mostly TikTok, right? It sucks you in and you're completely there. You're not paying attention to anything else. I cannot be convinced that you are. So you're not learning at that moment. And the problem is that once you start that show, it's really hard to stop.
Yeah.
But you can see that the students who are not watching a show and trying to draw are drawing much faster, much more accurate, are getting much better results. And the people who are like, I have my computer here and I have this thing here, they're much slower, it's sloppier, it's not really the result they want. And at the end of class, will they say they've learned as much? So I think, but I go back to your point.
Yeah.
Sometimes we use it. So if it's for a specific use, like in a media class, maybe it makes sense to give a special permission and to say, for this class, you can go and get your phones.
Yeah.
But in English class, probably not.
I agree. But here's another thing. I don't think that it's going to, like, a lot of kids here like to play games on their computers.
Yes.
If they're still going to have access to their MacBooks, then, like, even if they're doing something and they're supposed to be on Google Classroom, there's still going to be kids who are playing games and still not doing their work.
There's always going to be kids messing around, no matter what you take away. But the biggest issue is the phones, though. So,
I think that instead of people being on their phones, though, they're just going to do whatever they were doing on their phones on their MacBooks.
well, you take away their MacBooks, they're going to find something else to mess around with.
So I think you both have something here
Yeah.
that I really like. And one is, some people will always be messing about, or when I was young, you didn't have anything. You either sent notes to somebody else. We don't do that because we can send them a message, right? And the second thing is you can daydream. So you cannot pay attention even if you don't have your phone. There is, though, a difference, I think, between computers or your Chromebook and a phone. The phone really calls your name. Can you hear it whisper? Because mine is over there. It's whispering to me, why am I not in your pocket or in your hand? You should be doing things. And if you have to go out of your way on the computer to start playing a game.
Yeah.
And it's very visible and it feels different. It's less attractive. Will they play? Absolutely. I've been to enough classrooms with just Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Kids are playing games. Some kids are playing games, but it's a little bit different. And so I think because we had Chromebooks much longer than we've had phones in everybody's hand, and kids were not as distracted. And I say kids, that's the wrong thing. Teachers are just as distracted if they have their phones out.
Yeah.
Just as distracted.
I think that if they're taking away our phones, I shouldn't see any teachers with their phones.
Oh, see, and I don't think they are. I don't think they're
allowed to have theirs either.
Yeah, because that's what Spo was talking about. He's already trying to like implement that into his daily like routine, like not wearing his watch, not having his like he has to have. He's a principal. He has to be able to like.
He's got to be able to communicate.
Yes, but like the other teachers, like I think they're gonna have to do the same thing. And if they aren't, I think they should have to be because.
I agree. I think that's unfair.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If we go to class and then we're like watching a video and you look back and
the teachers on their
chilling
phone.
on their phone.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Fair. Fair.
Like I do get there to the teacher, but.
So maybe you should, as students, you should raise that to administration or even have that conversation with your teachers. Not saying we demand, but saying let's have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
If we're not going to have this, we feel like that's a great opportunity. This may be the last time I'm asked to be on a podcast, which is cool, by the way.
We're starting riots.
No.
But it's a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it seriously like adults. You are getting there at least.
Yeah. We're practically adults.
Practically.
Pretty much. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. So I'm just glad it's not like our freshman year coming in, and at least we won't be at school as much, it being our senior year, have out periods and that stuff. But it's just going to kind of suck like having to like when we go for lunch, like we get to leave. So we're going to have to like go get our phones, leave, go put our phones back.
Thing. They wanted us to put our phones in our Bulldog time, like with our Bulldog time teachers. And if I'm leaving for a third period, I'm gonna have to go to my Bulldog time teacher and interrupt the class that he's teaching right then to get my phone.
Yeah.
And that's causing another disruption.
And so they'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. So they're like, okay, we got to find a solution.
Next year's going to be a learning year.
Yeah.
This may be the things to suggest, again, in trouble. The thing to suggest is a student group that meets with the teachers and administration like once in a while, giving the students' point of view instead of the grambling and the texting after school and all of that, Snapchatting. I don't know what you all do, but instead of that, maybe that's a great way to think about. Let's have student voice in there because you have a podcast, you're talking to the world, blah blah.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's gonna happen no matter what. That's why I feel like a lot of people are not like comprehending. They think if they complain about it on Facebook No Limits, it's gonna the principal's gonna be like, all right, guys, parents and
it's
children
not
are
even like
complaining.
it's the school. Like,
Yeah,
it's like the state.
it's the state. Like
Yes.
it got passed. Like Spoke can't do anything about it. So
Yes,
all
in
he
many
can
ways,
do-
and that's why they did it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
The idea was that whenever you put it at the local level or even the specific teacher level, it becomes harder
Mm-hmm.
because students and parents will say, "Well, it's allowed everywhere else. Why are you doing this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I just today talked to a teacher, not in this school, but maybe nearby, who said, "I took phones yesterday for a period because nobody was focused, and the minute I took everybody's phone, there was triple work done
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in the same period." And I'm like, "Well, there's something there."
Yeah.
So, but making sure that everybody's voice is actually heard
Yeah.
is, I think, a great opportunity for you all to exercise your voice.
Do you think phones are a problem at UNO?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are a problem everywhere. They are a problem in workplaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of meetings, maybe too many, but the minute people start looking at their phones, you know they lost their attention. Whatever you said, they don't know that you've said it. And that's a problem everywhere. And so the question becomes, I mean, at workplaces, they seldom say. There are some workplaces that do that. But in general, they don't say that. But if people are looking at their phone and this is your boss, you're probably going to be in trouble
Yeah.
sooner or later.
I know. It sucks that like phones are so beneficial, but
But
also
they're
bad.
trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we enjoy them tremendously. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying never have a phone.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are moments where we want to do what we're supposed to do so we don't rush. I mean, you're getting close to the end of the year. Sally, you got to finish all the projects and all that. If you're more focused, you can get some more work done and
Yeah.
then be a little less stressed, maybe.
yeah, like right now I have like English work and I have been putting it off, and probably because I've been on my phone.
Well, procrastination has always been with us. So I do want to temper that and say, well, we've always found other ways not to do our work.
Yeah. And I think after we took the ACT, everybody's
Kind
phone
of.
usage.
Oh,
just
yeah.
went.
Yes.
Everybody
Yeah.
said, I'm done. I'm checking out.
Yeah, I checked out as soon as we were done with the ACT.
All right.
I'm so done with school. I can't wait.
And there's only 13 more days.
And then we have a whole nother year.
It'll be a wonderful year.
Yeah, I'm really excited for my
I'm
senior year.
excited too.
There's so many fun stuff for senior year, and
And there's AI to help us along.
No.
but that is the thing though. Not as much kids are gonna. Actually, no kids are gonna get to use AI in classrooms
Because
next
they're
year.
blocked on our Chromebooks.
Yeah,
Oh, they're blocked on your Chromebooks,
Yeah.
but they're not blocked in class.
in
in
Willie's
them-
class.
in
yeah,
Willie's
yeah.
class.
Because when we were on it, I was logged in on my No, maybe it isn't blocked anymore.
No, I think it is.
I don't know. We'd have to look.
Another conversation to have like adults with their
Mason said it's
administration.
not blocked. It's not? How you know you've been using ChatGPT?
Gonna have to bring that up with your teachers, Mason's teachers, if you're watching this right now. Anyway, but I don't know.
So I guess it's not blocked. I bet they will block it again next year.
They might. And again, I think it'll have to do with what are people using it for.
Yeah.
Is it thoughtful and productive, or are you just copying and pasting? Because copying and pasting, and again, we've done copy and paste for years. And when, before computers, because I'm that old, before computers, you just copied in your handwriting, but you still copied and pasted, right? And so from the encyclopedia or from whatever book you found, you could do literally word for word or do minor editing.
Yeah.
And so that has always been there, but there are really great ways to use it.
Yeah,
And
like
so,
in Willie's class, I've used AI for
Yeah.
so many things on the board and all that stuff. So I hope it doesn't completely go away for.
In like our film festival, we were trying to figure out ideas for our film, and the
Yeah.
one that we won with,
Oh,
we
yeah.
literally came up with that
Yeah.
idea from AI.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
So-
it's great for ideation. It's great. There's a lot of things it does well.
yeah,
Yep, love some AI, but next year it's gonna be rough. Anyway,
do you want to give some advice to any students or anyone who would be watching this podcast?
So, if you're planning to go to college, which you probably are, and if you aren't, this is the time to start thinking about it before it's too late. AI is going to be there. And so you have to think about, how do I learn to use it in a timely way? Because what I'm seeing happens to some students is they're saying, I'm not going to use AI, or I'm afraid to use AI. And then what happens is they have a paper due the next day and it's midnight. And then that's when you go to ChatGPT and say, give me a paper about this and this and this. And you basically copy and paste. And your instructor will know it was AI.
Yeah.
I know there are ways to mask and all of that. But the truth is, we know when it's AI. Because it's either repetitive, AI tends to be repetitive, or it does weird language things that normal people don't do, and other things. And we also know where our students are. So that's the bad time. The good time is when you have time, ask AI to give you some ideas about directions to take. Ask AI to give you some feedback on what you've done. Things like that are really, really helpful. But for that, you got to actually practice using AI and be good at it, because then what you're getting is actually your work, but better. So that's my short blurb. And also come to UNL because,
UNL's the best.
yes.
We're going to UNL.
We are.
Excellent. What
See
are you
you there.
going to do?
I'm going into sports media and communications.
Excellent.
Yes.
Good choice.
Yes.
Good practice.
I want to do social media marketing.
Excellent. So you're both going to the School of Journalism?
Yes.
Fantastic. We'll see you there.
Yes. We're so excited. All right. Well,
Also, you have still a year of
Yeah.
okay.
We still
Well,
have
we'll
a
still,
little while.
podcasting
we'll
till
still
then.
see there.
We were gonna come on a field trip next year and go look at all the new
Yeah,
stuff.
because
with
the
Then
new,
come
the new
say hi.
like the new facility and all that stuff.
Yeah, they do have fantastic facilities now. So
we were gonna go, so maybe we'll see you then.
Yeah.
yeah,
Stop by.
absolutely. Send me an email. I'll come
Okay.
see you.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
Bye, Bulldog Banter.
Bye.